Hey everybody, Coach Lindsay here. Corey and I just got done with our annual planning weekend, and this is something that we've been doing for years now. It's a process that my dear friend gave to me, something that she and her husband have been doing for years and years and years, where they come together on an annual basis, map out their individual goals, their goals as a couple, what it is that they want to achieve. And so Corey and I have now been doing this for almost a decade. And it has allowed for us to grow in ways that would not have been possible if we didn't have a tool to take everything that we wanted to achieve out of our brains and put it onto paper so that we could see what it is that we wanted to create in a way that gave it a structure that allowed us to execute on. And I think that's one of the most impactful things that I can bring to you is this ability to help you create a system that works for you. So I'm giving you this template, and this is a iterative process. If any of you have done the annual planning process with me last year, you'll see that there are some differences between what we did last year and what we've done this year. And that's because every single year, I am looking at how to improve the questions that we are asking of ourselves, the way that we are mapping out information so that it becomes easily accessible throughout the course of the year. One of the things that I see that is most common is that we do a really great job of potentially creating a plan, but then that plan goes into a drawer. And so, what you'll notice this year is that I've provided you some templates towards the end of the document that will allow you to go deeper on a weekly basis, monthly basis, and quarterly basis. So, not only are you projecting out what it is that you want to achieve for the year, but you're giving yourself a structure of accountability and ability to check on the progress that you've made, the wins that you've had, and where you maybe need to do some course correction. As you dive into this process, I want you to make it your own. I want you to really think about what matters most to you. And if you see a question in here that doesn't feel quite right, I want you to change it. The reason that the structure has been so powerful for us is that anytime I am noticing that something doesn't serve me, I have no problem changing it. This is meant to be a template or a jumping off point for you to flex and leverage so that it serves you in the best possible way. When you first get into the workbook, you're going to see that we are doing our standard reflection. So we're looking back at 2024. We're noticing what are some of the goals that we achieved? What are we most proud of? What didn't go as planned? What did we learn? How did we grow? This is a really important process, not just to look at the things that maybe didn't go right, but more importantly, the things that did go right and what we want to celebrate as a win. It's so easy for our brains to go to the negative place, the things that we didn't do. It's so easy for us to use our goals against ourselves and judge the place that we are. What we want to do instead is use the information as data, just as a point of reference, something that we are able to learn from and grow from. So even if you didn't hit your goals for last year, or maybe you just completely forgot about what they are, and here you are ready to step into next year, and you're reminded that you had written some things down. We don't want to use that against ourselves. We just want to say, oh, that's interesting. So, what did I learn? I learned that by not keeping my goals front and center, they slip into the background. And therefore, in 2025, I want to try to find a better way to keep my goals front and center so that I remember what they are and I can actively work towards them. So, the reflection part is not for judgment or shame or beating ourselves up, but rather as pieces of information that will help us determine what it is that we might want to do different in the future. After we reflect on where we've been and what we accomplished for the year and how we grew and what we learned, it's now time to look forward into the future. And I want you to do this in a couple of different ways. I want you to look further out into the future. You're going to see here that there is a 2030 vision, so looking out 5 years from now. But you can also feel free to go further if that's something that you choose. Sometimes we talk about our marginal decade, so the last 10 years of life. Use your own intuition and really think about what is going to be most valuable for you to envision. If you cannot put yourself more than 5 years out in terms of the timeline that you can truly drop into and see, then think about scaling it to that 5 years. But if you can see very vividly further out and you feel as though that's going to be supportive of you reaching your goals this year, I want you to map that out. Okay. We then go into our 1 year vision board. So, backing our way into who are we this year that helps support that future vision. And we break that down into the 8 dimensions of self. Finally, we get into the concrete goals and commitments that we have for 2025, why they are important to you, and then the habits and the milestones that will allow us to stay on track throughout the course of the year. So give this a whirl, see how it goes. Use this as a tool. Do not use it as a weapon against yourself for something that you didn't do this year or a way to judge not achieving something that you had set out to achieve. But instead, I want you to use it as empowerment to create a structure so that you have the tools that you need going forward. If you have any questions, if you would like to get coached on this content, please let us know. Be well, everybody. Happy New Year.